This video was taken about a year ago. Spencer was having a meltdown that lasted over 30 minutes. He was unable to self-regulate. At this point, Al tells Spencer to lay down, which he does, eventually. You can see Spencer is still kicking his legs, so Al stands close, but not too close that he could get kicked. He seemed to calm down and started picking up the books, but then you could see he tore up the pages more. We had to wait it out for him to calm down. Being on the ground is a safer position than being standing up.
Mommy! My pen! Mom!
Say pen.
Mom!
Say pen.
Mom!
Say pen.
Mom!
JB, say pen.
Mom!
Say pen. Say pen. It's okay.
Mom!
Say pen. Say pen. It's okay.
Kimber!
It's okay.
Say
pen.
Mom!
Calm down. Say pen. Say pen.
Why?
It's okay. You'll get your tablet back.
Mommy!
You'll get your tablet back once the timer go off, okay?
Why?
You can't have it right
My
now.
pen!
You've been pinching.
Mom!
Say pen. Say pen.
JB, say pen.
My pen!
Say pen.
Mom!
Say pen. Say pen. Say pen.
Mom!
You're doing good.
My pen!
Say pen. Say pen. You're doing good.
My
You can't even take a quick shower with an autistic child. You cannot take your eyes off of an autistic child. I tried to jump in the shower real quick. So I ran downstairs to get something. And I'm wondering why my child is grabbing my water bottles and running up the steps. So I'm chasing him up the steps to see what the fuck he's doing. This is what the fuck he's doing. Literally throwing everything out of the fucking window. When I said people don't understand what it's like to have an autistic child, this is one of the things I'm talking about. You can't take your eyes off of them. You can't. I'm so motherfucking aggravated right now. I don't know what the fuck to do. Now I got to go outside and get the shit up. I can't even fucking brush my teeth.
So we at the park or whatever, and I ain't never experienced nobody being really mean to my son. Like, we don't really be going nowhere. Why these little ass kids gonna say some run, he's coming? They don't know me. Like, it's literally either like, I know they kids, so I wasn't even mad, but it's just like, bitch, what you mean he coming? Ooh, being a parent is so hard. They don't even tell you. It be little shit. Like, what do you...
No cash. Like that. No cash. Like that. I don't want to go. Please move. Turn the cane drop.
Yay!
Tomorrow. Sit the truck.
Yeah, we moving different, but we moving strong. XCP, this where we belong. Different rhythm, different sound. We still rise, we still shine now. Step by step we find our way. Love speaks loud even when we don't say. XCP, yeah, we stand as one. Parents, children, we get it done. Safe space, real love, no pretend. Support, hope, we rise again. Early mornings, long nights, I'm tired, but I'm fighting. Doctors talking, people staring, world feel like it's tightening. But I see that spark, yeah, I know who you are. Not broken, just brilliant, yeah, you my shining star. Every meltdown got a message, every silence got a voice. I'm learning how to listen, every step is a choice. They don't see the beauty, they just see what's off. But I see a whole universe, the world brushed off. Different rhythm, different sound. We still rise, we still shine now. Step by step we find our way. Love speaks loud even when we don't say. XCP, yeah, we stand as one. Parents, children, we get it done. Safe space, real love, no pretend. Support, hope, we rise again. I see colors when it's quiet, hear sounds you don't hear. Sometimes I get overwhelmed, wish the word was more clear. I don't mean to shut down, I don't mean to run away. I just need a little space, I'll be back, I'm okay. I'm not less, I'm just me. Yeah, I'm moving my own way. Different path, different pace, but I shine every day. When you hold my hand tight and you look in my eyes, you remind me I'm strong, I don't have to disguise. It's a journey, not a race. Love will always lead the way. Through the highs and through the lows, we grow stronger, this we know. XCP, we connected for real. Every struggle, every win we feel. Different rhythm, different sound. We still rise, we still shine now. Step by step, we find our way. Love speaks loud even when we don't say. XCP, yeah, we stand as one. Parents, children, we get it done. Safe space, real love, no pretend. Support, hope, family till the end. Autistic children, connecting parents, a safe space. We understand.
Hey everybody, welcome to Realistic Vibes, where the vibe is always positive, and also welcome to Autistic Children Connecting Parents, ACCP Safe. How y'all doing on today? Happy Sunday. This is the first day of the symposium. I'm glad you guys are here to listen to what I got to say, okay? If you have not liked the video, and also if you have not, if you can go over to the autistic page we have on YouTube, go over there and like over there, hang out over there too. I'm going to drop the link in the chat so you guys can go over there as well. Let's see, and I'm gonna drop it in the chat. And subscribe to the channel because all the content, autism content that's on this page is going to be moved to that page. Okay, so if you subscribe over there, you will find it there. Shouts out to everybody that is tuning in. Let's see who we have in the chat. We have homie homie LG in the chat. Shouts out to him for coming through. We have Mama in the chat. Hi, Mama. Thank you for coming through. We have Smell the Roses is in the building. Hi, Roses. We have TC Top Cat is in the buildings as well. Hey, TC. We also have CEO is in the building. Hey, CEO. Thank you for coming through. Let's see who else we got in the building. We got Sis in the building. Hey, Sis. And I think that's all I see right now. And make sure y'all hit that like button, share, subscribe. So we will be doing a lot of content on autism and related disorders and parenting all together. So I just want y'all to know that. So a lot of times when we say, when I'm doing content for autistic kids, a lot of the things that I'm teaching is for all kids. A lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about, you can use for your children as well. So don't think that you can't, just because I say, it's for children with autism, don't think that it's not for kids that are not on the spectrum. Okay. All right. Hink is in the building. Hey, Hink. Hink is in the building. All right. So y'all. So what did y'all think about the video that I showed? What did you think about the video that I showed? I wanted you guys to see exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about behavior. What did you guys think about the video? What do you guys think about the video? A lot of times when I'm if y'all don't know, I'm an autism navigator. So when I'm talking to parents and I'm listening to them, tell me, what they're struggling with their kids. A lot of children have a lot of, we're going to talk about a lot of the behavior issues. That's what the show is about today. And sometimes, and well, all the time it can be very, very overwhelming with parents, right? CBB says it was rough to watch for me. Yeah, trust me. I get it. Like, and even some parts I kind of got like, Like I know what she's talking about. You know what I mean? But what do you guys think? Because I know a lot of times people will say, "Child, that couldn't have been me," because I would have beat him upside his head. He tried to hit me like that. You know? Smell the Roses says, I felt bad complaining about my emotional tank running empty. Their struggles are much more difficult than mine. Oh, Roses, I left a message under your post. Myself and Miss She said we did a two shows. One on self-care, and I did a show on burnout, parental burnout. And it's in the playlist, in the Autism Blueprint to Autism playlist. So you might want to watch those too. Okay. So we're gonna talk about it, guys. So I dropped the link. The link is in the chat for those who have questions. If you need me to explain something a little bit more in detail, because it's a lot. So I kind of streamlined it as much as I could. Y'all know me with my slides. I try to streamline as much as I could, y'all. Okay. So you're welcome to ask questions or anything like that. So let's look at what we're going to talk about today. Autism discipline at home, right? Because this is where a lot of parents have issues keeping their house in order, right? So I'm going to give you some behavior management strategies. So we're going to break it down, and that is what we're going to talk about. And again, like I said, a lot of the things that I'm going to tell you, you can use for your kids as well. For those of us that does not have any child with a disability or on the spectrum, right? You can use it with them too. Make sure y'all share the screen. Hit that like button, all that lovely thing. And shouts out to everybody that has supported the stream already. Y'all know the goals. 10 memberships on today, and we want $80 towards the Cash App for the Paper Towel Fund. It's almost time for a new case of paper towels for Mr. Caleb, okay? and another case of Dude Wipes, all right? So make sure y'all hit that Cash App as well. And shouts out to everybody that already supported the channel. So let me see, do I need anything else in here? Let's switch over to our presentation screen. Okay, here we go. All right, guys. Let's get into it. Let's see. Oh, shouts out to everybody shouts out to everybody that's giving in the screen. I'm just looking for my. Oh, here it is. All right, guys, y'all ready? And please, please do not hesitate to ask me any question. Any question. So let me give you a little bit of insight. So my son is 22. Okay. He was diagnosed with autism before he turned 2, just before he turned 2. So did you know my son is vaccine injured? Okay. We'll get into that on another day. So it wasn't genetics. They did that to him. Okay. We'll talk about that on another day. Okay. So I have 22 years of experience, right? I have 22 years of experience. I also I've also worked in the school system with children with disabilities. Okay. I also work in the healthcare field. So yeah. and also work in other places for the government that deal with, the mad scientists and doctors. Okay. Um, so 22 years of experience. Also have a autism initiative for the community, um, where I help parents navigate their way through this journey of autism. Okay. So that's a little bit about me. Let's get into it. And again, y'all have any questions and all that other, any questions, any concerns, make sure y'all please, please, please do not hesitate to, ask in the chat, or you can come up. The link is pinned, and I'll drop it again or just say I want the link, to say you want to come up. Okay. All right, let's get started. Okay, what we're going to learn today. What is autism? Understanding behaviors. I'm going to give you some discipline versus guidance techniques and tools. We're going to talk about the clinical considerations, behavior interventions at home, and I have some tips and support and some words of encouragement for parents. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, what is autism? Autism is a disorder characterized by a severe disruption of the normal development process. Autism is not a disease, it's not the cooties. So if your child plays with an autistic kid, does not mean they're gonna get it, okay? It is one type of persuasive developmental disorder we call PDD. Autism spectrum disorder is characterized by severe to persistent impairments in several areas of development, such as socialization, verbal, nonverbal communication, restrictive and repetitive patterns of behavior. Autism exists on a continuum from mild to severe. So we're going to talk about the levels of autism in a minute, okay? Here are some statistics as of 2025. 1 in every 31 child has been diagnosed with autism. Boys are 4 times likely to be diagnosed than girls. 40% of children with autism don't speak. 300% increase in autism diagnosis over the last 20 years. 40% have above average intellect and abilities, and 1 in 45 adults in the US have autism. That's a lot. Okay? So now let's get into the 3 levels of autism, okay? So you have level 1. So level 1 is considered like, I don't want to say mild, right? I hate using that word. But level 1 is considered high functioning, might need a little bit of support, right? They speak basic social interactions, so they're able to hold a conversation. Some do well in school. They're somewhat independent. They speak in full sentences. They're able to engage in basic interactions. Some may struggle with handling transition smoothly or behaving according to social norms. That is a level 1, which is considered high function. So then you have level 2. Level 2, support is needed, right? So level 1, they pretty much can be on their own. These are the autistic ones that are able to live on their own. They really don't need that much support, but level 2 needs support. My son is level 2. He needs support. So they're able to follow simple instructions, can speak in short sentences, okay? They can complete tasks. Again, follow they're able to follow instructions, complete tasks. They be able to, and some be able to work a little job, right? However, they need some support because they have problems adapting to change, transition. They have a hard time expressing their feelings. They have a hard time communicating what their needs are. Okay, and that is level 2. Level three is your nonverbal autistic individuals. They have limited words or motions. Um, they learn basic self care skills. Um, this thingy is in the way, child. I can't see my little thing. Okay. These are the ones that need a constant. Some are unable to feed themselves, bathe themselves, potty. These are the ones that have very severe behavior issues. Social skills are not intact. Level 3, what I would consider the ones that need round the clock care. So that is level 3. Okay. Any questions? Please let me know if you need some understanding of levels. All right, let's talk about understanding the behaviors, right? Because this one is kind of how can I say? This part is kind of, interesting because we need to understand what the behavior is asking us, right? So we talked about what autism is and what the levels are. And if you understand that, then you can understand some of the behavior. So let's get through this. So because I'm going to touch on a few things that a lot of people are not aware of. Okay, let's go into understanding behaviors. Okay. Okay, so understanding behavior. Behavior repeats because the person gets something they enjoy from it. Okay. Avoid something that they don't like, right? Many people with autism have a limited range of behaviors and a limited capacity to learn new skills. Given this, they are likely to stick with what works. Keep that in mind. They likely to stick what works. And which is interesting, that's most kids. That's most kids. Hold on one second. Theo has question. The levels of characteristics can be mixed. Yes, you can have some that will be so. Like for my son, he's in between level 1 and level 2. Some things he needs constant supervision on, and some things he cannot. He doesn't. Right. So, for example, my son, he makes his own breakfast, makes his own lunch, he washes his dishes, he cleans his room, he cleans his bathroom, all the basic needs for him from himself, he does his own, right? But if I say to him, Caleb, I need you to go to the corner store and get such and such and such, that ain't happening, okay? He will literally need someone to escort him or assist him to go to the store. So level 1 is high functioning, where they would be able to live on their own, do things, drive a car, go, and do things on their own. However, level 2, they can do things on their own, but they're limited. So you can be in between the levels depending on the behaviors and what skills you can obtain. Okay, I hope that's answered your question. See, see that I'm going to say that's definitely my daughter. Okay, all right, where was I? Okay, so again, children, not just children with autism, but all children, or even everybody, whatever works, you tend to stick with whatever works. Well, whatever behavior you do to get an outcome, and you know that's the outcome that you want, and you know what to do for it, you're gonna do it. So like children, you know how children, they want that toy, they're gonna throw a temper tantrum. And even like, us adults, let's talk about the ladies. Like when we want those shoes, right? We know what behavior we need to do. That's just human nature. They're just being human, right? So the challenging behaviors are functional. It does something for the person. It's effective. It works for them. Learn. It is a consequence of previous experience. So if a child says, I remember when I cried the last time, mommy gave me some ice cream. And mommy, every time I want something and I cry, mommy gives this to me. That's what happens. So that becomes learned behavior. They're like, oh, okay, I'm going to get this if I do this, right? And then you have ingrained behavior. It's a part of a person's repertoire, right? They got that in their back pocket. So these are the simple parts of behavior, right? Now, what behavior looks like? Here is where it's going to get interesting. In autistic kids, behavior will be displayed as demanding sameness. And we're going to get into that. I'm going to show you a little something so you know. Displaying odd rituals. Stimming, which is self-stimulation actions. Uttering impolite remarks. Resisting assistance or direction. Refusing to comply. Aggression against others, pushing, biting, hitting, kicking, grabbing hair, or sometimes a lot of the kids experience self-abuse. They hit themselves, as we saw in the video in the beginning of the show. All right, so let's get into some of these behaviors. Ooh-wee. Autism behaviors, and let's see what they really mean. I didn't want to do that, machine. Why did they do that? Oh, have mercy. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, so we have echolalia, which is repeating. They repeat everything, right? And a lot of times when they do this is like, I'm processing what I hear. So a lot of times when I'm talking with my son, he'll repeat what I say because he's trying to process what I just asked him. And if you hear me talking to him, you'll hear me say no repeating, because I want him to think about it and not repeat it. Some other things is when kids have meltdowns, they're feeling overwhelmed. Some kids do stimming. This is like a self-soothing thing. So for example, when my son was younger, when he was a little being, pressure applied to him would calm him down. or he would do this little rock. Okay, he would do this little thing, and that was his way to regulate himself. And then you have some kids do vocal stimming, that's the repeating, right? And then you have some that elope. Now we're going to talk about this on another show. When they like, a lot of kids like to run, right? They want to escape. So elopement is a very big issue with kids with autism. So why do they repeat things? Like, girl, why do they repeat things? Why do they do that? So let's find out why they repeat things, y'all. So when they're repeating words, like I said, they're trying to process what they hear, and that as well is self-regulation. When they're repeating an action, they're processing something, right? And then when they're asking the same questions over and over again, it's part of processing and predictability. So sometimes repetition is not a bad thing. It's a tool that they use to try to understand. Any questions on the repetitions? And that's where, if we go back to to this slide, when they're demanding sameness, right, is one of the behaviors that they tend to act out on. And we're going to talk about transitioning. We're going to talk about that. All right, here we go. Let's go on. Why he hits himself. In the chat, why do you think they hit themselves? Why do you think they hit themselves, y'all? Do anybody know? Why do you think they hit themselves? CD Beat says he thinks it's self-punishment. Okay. I see. Smell the Roses says frustrated. Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. Overwhelmed. Yep. Yep. Anxiety. Mm-hmm. Okay. Smell the Roses. Yep. You're absolutely right. So what we see here on the screen, why do he hits himself? A lot of times when children are a lot of times if we go back to what we said autism is, and some of the things that are restricted when they're autistic, is what? Communication. So a lot of times when they are in pain or they're not feeling well, they hit themselves. Second reason is sensory overload, right? If you know, this is when I tell autism parents all the time, and including just parents all together, you have to pay attention to your children. You have to be present in their day-to-day life, because if you don't, you will never know what things is going to trigger them off, what things that are that will cause them to be overloaded if you don't pay attention. For example, my son does not like the light. He is a vampire. Okay. Mr. Caleb loves the dark. Mr. Caleb rather be in some cool lighting, okay? He does not like bright lights, and he will let you know. If the lights are left on in the house, he will go through every room and turn off the lights. Mr. Caleb likes dark. That's because he gets overloaded with all. He's sensitive to the light. So sometimes they be sensory or overloaded, right? And like Smell the Roses says, frustrated. Okay, their brain doesn't process everything like we do. And being that they can't tell you what they want or tell what they need verbally so that we can understand, that's frustrating. How many times you get frustrated with someone and you just like, dang it, or hit the table, or you know what I mean? And this is why they do that. Their nervous system is overloaded. This is why it's important for you parents to understand what the behavior means. What is your child trying to say to you is the important part. Okay? Okay, let's talk about it. We're going to analyze some behaviors, okay? What's happening is a lot of times we focus on what the behavior looks like and we do not determine the why. Why the child is acting this way. Why is he falling out? Why is he stimming so much? Why is he making that noise? Why? And a lot of times, parents, we don't take the time to figure out the why. He's trying to tell you something. Behavior sometimes is communication. Let me say that again. Behavior is communication. You have to figure out the why. Why? What happened before, in the middle, and after? Why is my child acting this way? Focus on the why behind the challenging actions and the planning required to change them. Determining if the child is seeking access, which means attention, okay? He or she's trying to escape something. No, I'm sorry. Access means they want something, right? And escape is they're trying to avoid something, run away from something, run away from a person, right? If it's sensory seeking, they need some adjustment going on, or they're seeking attention. Access behaviors maintained by access to something that they want. Like, for example, YouTube from my son. Okay. Access is to the tangible things, a toy, a candy, a favorite item. Access to an activity, TV, games, music, something that uh, they like, right? Access to these activates activities may reinforce the behaviors. Escape behaviors maintained by escaping or avoiding something undesirable. They don't want to do their homework today. They don't want to take a bath. They don't want to go outside. They don't want to do this, and they don't want to learn. They're trying to escape. So they figure out what behavior is going to get me or get mommy or daddy to do what I want. So if me hitting myself or me throwing myself on the floor or me yelling and screaming and crying and all that is going to get what I want, that's what I'm going to do. You have to figure out the why. Sensory behaviors maintained by a pleasant sensory experience, right? Something that they like, the feel goods, okay? The feel good things. And then you must determine the behavior. Is it because they're seeking attention? And a lot of times, kids are seeking parents' attention. especially these days, parents stick the electronics in their kids' hands, these babies' hands, and forget about them. They don't get a chance to experience the parents one-on-one. Okay, so these are the challenging behavior actions where you need to find out the why. Okay, all right, let's go. Let's talk about sensory seeking behaviors. Okay. This thing is getting on my nerves right here, y'all. Every time I do this, it moves this in the way. Oh, y'all can't even see what I'm talking about. I'm just saying. Y'all can't even see what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think I got it now. All right. The sensory seeking behaviors in autistic children, visible and invisible, right? We have two different types. So the visible sensory behaviors are covering your ears. So if there's a sound that my son doesn't like, he'll do this, the hand in the ear. The pacing or the running, the flapping or rocking or spinning, awaiting a touch or pulling away, like don't touch me or do touch me, please. Seeking deep pressure, and this is where weighted blankets are used, or weighted vest is used a lot of times in ABA therapy. They start to do chewing, mouthing or biting, hiding under blankets or furniture. Some kids will experience meltdown and shutdowns. We're going to talk about that on another day. Or some will go quiet. Or refusing certain clothes, because we're going to talk about that on Wednesday. Certain foods and clothing, they just ain't with, baby. Okay. So those are some of the visual sensory behaviors. And then you have the invisible ones. So when they're covering the ears, right? The sound that feels too sharp, or, sometimes it may not be, it doesn't bother us, but some high pitched sounds or low pitched sounds can feel a little bit different from them. Now you have to understand their nervous system is different from ours. A lot of things are heightened. Their senses are heightened more than ours. So their sense of taste, their sense of hearing, smell are heightened. So you have to understand that a lot of these things are overwhelming. It can be overwhelming for us. Just imagine this. It can be overwhelming, and then you don't know how to tell nobody that it's overwhelming. You can't express that to nobody. You can't, the smells that overwhelms them. Their brain is working hard to filter out the noise. When you're in a crowded place, and we're going to talk about that, because that's a lot of times when meltdowns happen in public, they're overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed with what's going on. They're being overwhelmed. So now take a little look at these illustrations. Okay. And this is what sensory seeking looks like. Any questions? Let me know. So I had to put this in here because I really don't subscribe to medication, but because of, you gotta put it in there. So there are the role of stereotypically repetitive acts and why medication is often not the primary solution. I myself do not recommend you putting your babies on none of this stuff. I'm not a doctor, but I am a professional. Disclaimer. So make sure you talk to your doctor and whatever, but my son never been on none of this. None of it. And I don't mean to toot my horn, but I never had to deal with a whole lot of behavioral problems either. Well, not none of this chemicals, right? So if you are, getting suggestions from the doctor, I would suggest you do your own research. Okay? In my opinion, in my 22 years of autism journey, medication is not the solution for meltdowns, aggression, and behavior. Because what did we say earlier? Behavior is what? Learned, ingrained, and they figured out, if I act this way, I'm going to get what I want. And that's for all kids. Okay? So we can get past this here. However, if your doctor suggests, do your research, y'all. Do your own research before you give your child any of this stuff. When I worked in the school system, there were a lot of kids that were on Adderall and Respirator and stuff like that. Yeah, they were calm, but they were sleepy. They didn't eat. They would lose weight because they weren't eating. They were calm. They were able to sit in their seat, but they slept the whole day. How they gonna learn doing that? And then by them not eating and being dehydrated, they were sick. How is that working? How is that the solution, y'all? How is that the solution? It's not. That's just my opinion. So I say do your research, okay? All right, I think we got a question in the chat. AI How 9000 say, can autism children transfer autism onto their offspring with a non-autistic parent? Honest opinion. My honest opinion, I say no. I'm sorry for the noise because my autistic young man downstairs is in the kitchen. He's doing his thing in the kitchen, y'all. I'm sorry for the noise. I say no because, in my opinion, autism is environmental. Autism is what I can't say on here because I don't want to get my channel struck. Those jabby thingies, okay? It's the food that we put, the water that we drink, the air that we breathe is totally changing our DNA, where our bodies, where our minds are, the structure of our bodies. And babies are now being born is like, as soon as they come out the womb, they're giving drugs. They're giving them shots. They're putting things in their eyes. As soon as the mama pushed them out. Do you not know that they give your babies a hepatitis shot as soon as they're born? Answer, and please tell me why are they giving newborn babies that's only 9 hours old hepatitis shots? Mama and daddy not on drugs, right? But they're giving newborn babies hepatitis shots. Why? Vitamin K in their eyes. Okay. All these things are factors of what's happening. And then by the time your child goes to school, do y'all know how many jabs they've gotten? Chemicals is running through their veins. Mercury, lead, thimerosal. Why? They don't need it. They haven't even been here that long. Not even 24 hours, they pumping them up with drugs. Stuff their bodies can't even fight against. Yes, in my opinion. Yeah. All right. So, before you can do any behavior intervention, before you do any planning on how to change your child's behavior, right? You have to clearly define the behavior. Because there's a difference between behavior and tantrum. Meltdown and I'm just being an asshole. Okay? So, let's see what clearly defining the behavior looks like. The difference between being naughty and overwhelmed. Now, here is where you have to pay attention to your child. What people assume what's happening, they're being intentional, aware of the actions, stop when told, response to consequences, goal directed, wants a reaction or outcome, in control of the behavior, and can adjust when needed. When a person is feeling overwhelmed, it's a little bit different. Not in control, your nervous system is overloaded, escalates, not to stop. Can't just turn it off. Not a clear goal. Reaction, not intention. Your body is in survival mode. Remember the characteristics of an autistic person. Their wiring is different. They can't express themselves. That's frustrating. And then when they try, you don't understand what they're saying. And that's frustrating. They're probably hurting or got something going on and they probably overstimulated and they can't. It's just they in fight, flight, or freeze mode for them. So you have to clearly define if they're just being naughty or they're overwhelmed. And that is why you need to pay attention to your children. You have to pay attention to your babies. So you will be able to recognize when I know Mr. Cater's I know when Mr. Cater's being an ass, and I know when he's being overwhelmed. I know when he's frustrated because he can't really tell me, like, clearly tell me what's going on with him or what he wants. You have to pay attention. So you have to determine what is a meltdown and what is a tantrum. And these are key differences in autism. Okay? Let's take a peek. Understanding the distinction between meltdown and tantrums can help in providing the right support, the right discipline, the right plan. So meltdowns looks like this: triggered by overwhelmed, response to sensory overload. We talked about that, stress or change. Out of control is loss of control, can't calm down easily. A lot of autistic children and adults are unable to regulate themselves. So keep that in mind. And a lot of times when meltdowns happens, it's involuntary reactions. It's not a choice. It's an overwhelming emotion. This is how they show the emotions. Remember, they can't express themselves, right? Now, maybe high functioning autistic people can, because they have a clear thought, they can comprehend quickly and tell them what they want. But between level 2 and 1, it's hard for them. It's hard for them to process the emotions that they're feeling. And when they're having meltdowns, they're trying to get you to understand, I need something that's going to help me regulate. Like I said earlier, my son, when he was a little being, pressure helped him regulate. And it was so cute because it was just pressure on his chin. Just taking my thumb. That was soothing to him. And then we got the weighted blanket and the weighted vest because that was soothing to his nervous system. So now let's check out tantrums. We got to know the difference, right? Tantrums is triggered by wants. I want this toy now. Not later, but now. That's a tantrum. Purposeful behavior, controlled by actions to get what they want. Like we talked, what did we say earlier? When the kids know, if I act this way, if I go ask daddy, or if I do this, I know I'm gonna get what I want. When they act out with tantrums, it's goal orientated, right? They know if they act this way, I'm going to get a certain outcome. And it's usually something tangible that they want. Remember, we talked about access. They want access to something. Tantrums happen when they want access to something. Meltdown happens when they're overloaded by something. Remember that. Meltdowns are happening because they're overloaded or overwhelmed by something. Tantrums are totally different. Tantrums is when they want something. They want access to something. That's a tantrum. Y'all got it? So when we clearly defining the behavior, we have to know if this is a meltdown or is this a tantrum. And in autistic children, when they're having meltdowns, it's because they're overwhelmed, sensory overwhelmed. Something is happening that they can't express. Tantrums is, I want YouTube. Okay. that's what I want YouTube. I want to watch it now. I want to stay up to 5 o'clock because I want to watch YouTube. Okay. So that's the difference. And this is not just for autism. Look, it's for all parents. This is for all parents. Is this not for autism kids? Okay. So let's carry on. So here's an example. Kid want to go outside. I want to go outside. I want to go outside. I want to go to the playground. I want to go to the playground. Okay. But then when he gets to the playground, he is freaking out, crying, hands over his head, pulling his hair, and just acting fool. You know why? He's now overloaded. His sensories is overloaded. From the noise, it could be the noise, it could be the sounds from the street, it can be too many people around him. These are the things you have to pay attention to. It can be the noise, it can be movement of people running, walking, the what you call those things, the things on the jungle gymming things can be overwhelming. The crowds transitioning to going from home to the playground. All these things can be sensory overload for an autistic kid. He can be happy because he wanted to go outside, but then when he got there, it was like, child, I'd rather be in the house. Like my son, Mr. Caleb, look, Mr. Caleb rather be home, honey. I would say, Caleb, you want to go with mom? He'd be like, no. Mr. Caleb is not about that life, okay? Like, you want to go to no. Mr. Caleb rather stay home in the dark. And these are some of the things you have to look into. Exactly, Roses. Yes, exactly. Like the young man in the intro who wanted his game. Exactly. You have to understand which is a tantrum and which is meltdown. And that wasn't a meltdown. That was clearly a tantrum. And you have to, as the parent, you have to be able to distinguish what is being displayed in order for you to plan how you're going to correct it. How are you going to correct something if you don't know the why? If you don't know the outcome? Okay? Rosa said, same for my son, with my son, never wants to come. Yeah, no, that girl, he don't want to go nowhere. He be like, no, thank you. And he would say, bye, give me a kiss, and send me out the door like I'm his child. All right, let's go. So like we said, we have to clearly define what is a tantrum. So the actions is Tommy's yelling and stomping his feet, cheering for his brother at the game. That's not a tantrum. Tommy flopping to the ground, crying when it's time to leave the playground. That is a tantrum, right? So these are the things you have to understand. So once we clearly define the behaviors that we want to change, now let's talk about discipline versus guidance and what techniques and tools that we're going to get into that's going to help us through it. Okay? So, discipline versus guidance. We're going to focus on strategies parents and caregivers can use to manage daily interactions, right? One way children can learn what types of behavior are appropriate is through discipline. And this is one of the things is very interesting to me, especially when I'm working with parents. They scared to discipline their kids. In the chat, why do you think parents, especially parents of special needs kids, are afraid to discipline their children? What do you guys think? I would love to hear your opinion. It is a part of educating your child to learn right from wrong and to understand socially acceptable and respectful behavior. Just because you have a disability does not mean you have the right to be a disrespectful. Disciplining your autistic child is not easy task though and requires a lot of patience. Yes, it does. Implementing discipline strategies can be challenging and often requires the parents to enforce consequences to negative behavior. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the things parents do wrong. And I have to get on my parents all the time about that. When you discipline a child with autism, this challenge is somewhat heightened, right? This is because many children with autism find it difficult to understand nonverbal social communication cues such as facial expressions. Nonetheless, it is possible, child. Yes, it's possible. It's very possible. I am a living witness. It is possible. I remember uh, throughout my son's school years, I've always gotten teachers to tell me, how did you get him so well behaved? While all the other kids were acting a fool and doing the most, my son would be like, yeah, what y'all doing? Like, what's wrong with y'all? Mr. Caleb was not about that life. He was like, nah, y'all acting up. We know, not Y'all doing too much out here in these streets. Mr. Caleb was not about that. Okay. Why? It's because I determined what behaviors was what as a baby. I didn't wait until he got older. Discipline and guidance and structure and routine started early. I didn't wait until he turned 4, 5, and 6, or a preteen or a teenager to try to implement some routine and structure. It began as soon as he came out. Okay? That's why it was easier for me. So I tend to teach those parents what works. Samantha Rosa says, I have to tell my husband to use his words with our son. A blank stare isn't helpful. Right. And they was like, are we having a staring contest, Dad? Yes, that's right. Yes. Like you got it. Look, use your words. And look, I tell my son that when he's trying to tell me, I'm like, use your words, Caleb. Use your words. All right. So let's clearly look at what discipline and guidance is and self-discipline. Discipline means to bring order through teaching and training. People, most time when people hear the word discipline, they are thinking about whipping their child. When most time when you hear people say you need to discipline your child, they hear you need to put the rod to them. But discipline is to bring order through teaching and training. Fair and consistent. Children learn to obey and be responsible for their actions when they are properly disciplined. And this is not just for autistic children. This is children in general. All children. Through discipline, they learn self-control. Yeah, that's the first thing they hear, Roses, is the rod, baby. Okay. They ready. Go outside and get the switch. So now here's where guidance comes in. Guidance is to give advice and counsel to help. Children learn what is acceptable for them. They learn by example. They learn by example. You are guiding them through life, whether they are quote unquote normal kids and kids with disabilities, autism. Same thing, same thing. Nothing's different. Same blueprint for all kids. And once they've learned this, they're able to self-regulate and self-discipline themselves, the ability to control one's own behavior. The goal of guidance and discipline. And trust me, my son is 22. I do have these. What? Child, if Caleb call himself hit me. Child. Okay. He knows better. I instilled discipline and guidance in him as soon as he was a baby. So he knows how to self-regulate and self-discipline himself. He knows when he does something wrong. He'll start crying because he like, oh yeah, I done disappointed mama. Oh Lord. Now, if he understands that as an autistic child, well, he's not a child, autistic young man, why can't these normal kids do? Why? Because there's a lack of discipline and guidance in the home. Any questions? Anybody got any questions, comments? If you want to come up and express yourself or ask your question, we can do that. Because we're about to get into discipline, baby. Okay. So why are rules and discipline important for autistic children? What do you think? Why is it important? Do you think because they are autistic that they are exempt from the order of things? No. Discipline is important. Shaping the mind, shaping their behavior, shaping how they will act and be in this world. So reinforcing small steps towards a desired behavior, right? Because we already looked at some of the behaviors. We determined which is a tantrum, which is a meltdown. We determined what is the why they are actually doing that. And so now we see the behaviors. Now we want to change some of the harmful behaviors and replace them with good behaviors. So it is important to teach children with autism rules because trust and believe they understand quite well. Quite well. Okay. Without them, their experience of the world can be more stressful and anxiety provoking. Children with autism perceive the world differently. Their perception of the world can be a scary experience. Therefore, by teaching them rules and enforcing discipline, they develop greater understanding of how the world around them works and can therefore become more adaptive. So when you're shaping behavior, you're reducing frustration, you're building independence and long-term success. Understanding life rules also provide a sense of independence for your child, grows up or as he or she can understand what is expected by society in various social situations. When rules are taught and understood, they become evident in their behavior. The more rules children understand and apply, the better their behavior will be. If a child does not follow the rules set out for him or her, or displays challenging behaviors, the wrong behavior, discipline can be applied so that he or she learns for the next time. Okay? I got a video for y'all. Mhm. We're going to watch some behaviors, baby. Because we're about to go into behavior intervention steps. Okay? Now I'm giving y'all information. We talked about what is autism. We talked about this sensory overload. We talked about determining having a clear definition of the behavior. We talked about the why they're doing it. We talked about meltdown versus tantrums. We defined what that is. We went over some of the behaviors, why they hit, why they stem, why they repeat. So now we're going to get into intervention. But I have a video for y'all. Here we go.
Hey, so we'll call this little rant my bed chronicles, okay? I don't think people understand how important structure and routine is to autistic children. They just don't understand. I literally had a whole meeting with my kids' school and the board of education about structure and routine. Zane has gone haywire over the last month or two because there has not been a routine and structure. So every day he goes into school with something different. He cannot process it. So I've been talking to a school about it. We've been going up there and they just were not getting the fucking hint. So I had to bring the board of education in like, hey, there needs to be a routine. There needs to be a schedule. He needs to know what he is getting into day to day. How small it seems like to us, it is a game changer for him. And when there is chaos, when there is no structure, when there is no routine, that is a sensory overload for him. That's the same reason why he will watch the same movies over and over again and laugh like he ain't never seen it before, because he knows what's going to happen. He can say the words verbatim, but he knows there's no surprise. Same reason why he likes vanilla ice cream and plain Lay's chips. There's no surprises. He don't like it. And I understand that we are trying to get him to adapt to these things, but at the end of the day, routine, repetition, structure is what the fuck he needs. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you are dealing with an autistic person, I don't give a fuck, adult or child, and some of y'all may be undiagnosed, but structure and routines are huge. And obviously some days you have to alter from that, but when it's day to day, something fucking different, you're gonna get a different fucking person from him every single day.
I'm not that autism mom that allows my kid to go to school and wreak havoc. Every day between Facebook and TikTok, y'all say, oh, I tell the teacher to follow the IEP. Your kid in there cutting up, tearing that classroom up, disrupting instructional time for everybody. And y'all talking about follow the IEP, follow the behavior intervention plan. Go be a parent and go pick your goddamn kid up from that school.
And that's why I said earlier, what did I say? I said you have to be a present parent. Let me tell y'all something. Child. when Mr. Caleb was in regular school before I homeschooled, look, I was up there all the time, and I would do drive-bys, like surprise. Yep, surprise, I'm here. They would hear them heels clicking down that hallway, baby. Oh, I didn't play. I was at every event, every teacher meeting, everything. I participated in everything. Because I need to know. I need to know what's going on. You have to be present with your child. You can't just send them to school and think that the teachers is supposed to raise your kid, autism or not. That's your job. That's your job to implement discipline and structure in your child. That's not their job. That's yours. It starts at home. Disability or not. Okay, let's keep going.
go be a parent and pick your kid up from that school, because I got my kid's cell phone number. Sis, she said, oh, he's having a bad day, I'm coming. He was cutting up in the morning. She said, he having a bad day, I'm coming. I don't know what's wrong. He can't tell me what's wrong, but I'm not gonna sit here and let him terrorize the whole damn school and tell them to follow the damn IEP. I'm his mama. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use that FMLA, and I'm gonna go to that school, and I'll get my child, and I'm bring it home, because maybe he just needed to regroup. He just wasn't feeling it. He couldn't tell me what was wrong, but I'm not gonna lie.
And remember when we talked about them being overwhelmed, is when a lot of the kids start having meltdowns. It's not a tantrum, but something occurred. Maybe it was a change in the routine. It was overwhelming for him. He could be overloaded sensory wise. And that was what manifests from that. So she's giving you an example of her child going through that.
Tear up that school and tear up that classroom and aggravate that goddamn teacher.
Y'all know my daughter have autism, baby. I don't. Yes, you. Baby, I don't allow nobody to treat my baby like she's handicapped, can't do shit, can't hear shit,
And this is what I've done is when Mr. Caleb was diagnosed from the beginning. And I tell my parents this as well. I did not treat him differently. I didn't treat him with kid gloves. Oh no, he has autism, so you can't do this and you can't yell him. What? No. I treated him just like he was a regular kid, okay? Because they understand very well. They may not can communicate, but they understand, okay? They understand the basics. Don't let them fool you. And some of them is geniuses and smart as I don't know what. So don't think they okay. So she is definitely right. That was one of the things that I instilled in myself. And I made sure that I did not treat him with kids' gloves or treated him like he was different. You may got some different wiring going around in your brain. But other than that, you are the same, young man.
shit. You come to this house, you will hear me all day. Put that shit down. Just as I would if she didn't have autism. Don't come trying to baby her and oh, she doesn't understand. She understands.
What did I just say? Look, she understands, baby. They understand very well. And what did we talk about in the beginning? We talked about behavior and why they do behavior, right? A lot of it's learned behavior. They understand that if I do this, I will get this. If I do that, I will get access to this. Little demons, they know exactly what they're doing. Okay, here we go.
Because I have time today, I'm gonna try to make it quick though. For those of people that question, oh, do you have an autistic child? I do. Look at my other videos. I do. Number 2, learned behavior. Aggression is not learned behavior. You are correct, it's not. But how the fuck they deal with it is. How the fuck they...
I'm on, what did I just say? They learn with the outcomes. They know if they act certain ways, they're going to get a certain outcome. That is the learn part, guys. And not just with kids with autism, all little ones, all big kids, they all have this in them already. Even as a baby, they know if they cry, mommy gonna give me milk. If I cry this way, mommy gonna know I need to be changed. If I cry this way, I need to be picked up. They already know. It's the same across the board. It's no different, y'all. It is no different. Stop treating your autistic little ones, big kids, grown kids like they are something out of this world, alien. They are all the same. They're all the same.
The learned behavior that I'm talking about is the lack of accountability and consequences. So the learned behavior I'm talking about is I can throw this motherfucking tablet and you ain't finna do shit about it. That's the learned behavior about it. The learned behavior, like with my child, he threw that motherfucking tablet one time. I put that bitch over top of the motherfucking refrigerator. You ain't getting it for 30 minutes. I didn't say 30 minutes, but you're not getting it. You're gonna get it back when I tell you can get it back because you don't throw your tablet. Right? He learned, if I throw this motherfucker, she's gonna take it. And she ain't gonna give it back because I had a meltdown.
Y'all hear that? Are y'all paying attention? Pay attention, class.
I don't give a fuck about a meltdown. Have a meltdown if you want to. And I was gonna sit up there longer. You did A, so B happened. So when I say learned behavior, that is what I'm talking about. Okay? Third, y'all talk about it's a spectrum. All the kids are different. I understand that. It's called the autism spectrum. I get it. And so obviously, all the kids learn in different ways, and some kids have different abilities, right? So as I said, you have to discipline your child what that looks like for your child. Every child, whether on the spectrum or not, gets disciplined what works for them.
And what did I say to you guys? That's why you have to be present in your child's life in order for you to learn how they will respond to certain discipline and consequences. You have to learn how they learn so that you can teach them. Like my son is musically inclined. He learns in rhythm. So when he was a little bean, guess what we did when I was teaching him how to iron his clothes? We made an ironing clothes song. When I was teaching him how to wash his own dishes and how to wash his clothes, guess what? We made a song about it. Because I knew that song would play in his head. The steps to do what he's supposed to do is going to be in his head. It became a repetition. And then you know what happens when you do something over and over again. It becomes what? An habit. I don't know why y'all don't get. And this is not just for autistic children. It's for all children. I can't stand it when I see parents on the internet with kids that don't have a disability. Just ooh wee. Ooh wee. Them kids be tearing up, cussing their mamas out and stuff, and throwing things and what in the world? Ooh wee. I had this one lady was complaining that she don't know what to do with her 5-year-old. Lady, what? She just won't listen. She just I just give her what she want. What? She's 5. What the hell? The way this little one act is learned behavior. They learn that stuff. And parents understand your behavior, the way you talk, the way you interact. You are actually modeling behavior that they repeat. So if you're cussing at your kids, guess what they're going to do? Chat. If a parent is cursing at their kids, what they going to do? Shout out to Messy Michonne, Bueller. Shout out to Messy Bueller. If you are yelling and cursing at your kids, chat, what are they going to do on repeat? Bueller, Messy Michonne, shout out to you. Bueller. They're going to what? They're going to end up cussing you out. Facts, brother. They're going to be cussing too. If you twerking and listening to Sex Red and all this kind of stuff and popping coochies and all that, and guess what they're going to be doing? If you smoking and drinking in front of them, guess what they're going to be doing? They're going to start sneaking around and Ooh, I see mommy be drinking this. Let me get a sip. We are our kids' first role models. The behaviors that we exhibit is what your children do. I'm just saying. But young lady is on point. Let's go.
I have 4 children and I have to discipline them all the same, all different ways because they don't respond the same way to the same thing. Period. They're different kids. But what I have to do is learn what worked for my son.
What that? Hey, I love it when I'm right. Okay, I know what I be talking about. You have to learn what works for your kid individually. And that requires what? Being a present and active parent.
And that's why I said spankings do not work for my son. That shit don't matter. All it do is piss him off. That don't do shit.
Okay, exactly, child. Cause look, I don't know if y'all know, but let me tell y'all a little secret about autistic children, especially boys. They superhuman, okay? Their level of pain tolerance is out of this world. So my son is every bit of 6'2", 6'3", whatever, child. Almost 300 pounds, baby. Okay. And I'm only 5 foot. Just imagine me trying to spank my kid or hit him. How that gonna work? His level of pain tolerance is crazy. His strength alone is story time, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. I had to take this boy to the hospital, to the ER, because let's back up. So I noticed that he was limping, and I was like, "Why are you limping?" And I would say, Caleb, I say, "You all right?" And he'd be like, "Oh, okay, I'm okay, I'm okay." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So as days went on, the limping got worse, and because he bathes himself, he washes himself, so I wouldn't have seen what I saw because he bathes himself. So one day he came from school and he took off his shoe, and I saw why he was limping. This boy almost had gangrene on his toe from an ingrown toenail. So do you not know how long he had to been enduring an ingrown toenail for it to get that infected? Without crying, without saying I'm hurting, without throwing a tantrum, meltdown, nothing. His pain tolerance is crazy. So I'm cleaning his room, and then I find all the bloody socks under the bed. Child. So she's correct with the pain tolerance. So me going off and hitting him with something or trying to spank him, child, what he gonna look at me like, okay, what you doing, mama? All right, yeah, okay, what you doing? But here's the kicker. They have superhuman strength. I take him to the ER to address the toe that looked like it's about to fall off. Because it was like blue and green and stuff. I was like, oh my God. So the doctor came in, nice lady, she was like, okay, we're gonna do this because so it was so infected, so they had to like puncture it so to get the infection out, right? And then come back and do the surgery. Let me tell y'all something. They gave him 2 doses of the sleeping medication. Let me say that again. They gave him 2 doses of general anesthesia. Y'all listening? When she went to use that scalpel to open up that wound, it broke my heart when he said it. Oh my God, it broke my heart. He was like, "Mama, help me." And I was like, "Caleb, they trying to help you." But while he was saying it, do y'all not know they had to call 5, let me say it again, 5 male nurses, not women, male. It was 5 men in there trying to hold him down, and he still was moving the gurney, trying to get away from her cutting it. Let me say that again. They gave him 2 doses of sleeping medication. And it took 5 men to try to hold him down so she can open up that wound and let the infection out. And he still was moving the gurney. Shout out to my Superman. Shout out to, I got me a Superman, okay? I got my own personal Superman, y'all. I got my own personal Superman. Little Joker is strong. Taking him to the doctor, child, please. What? Ain't happening. Here we go. All right. That's all right. That was story time, y'all. So she's corrected. Like you gotta know what works. You gotta know what works. Okay, here we go.
And his pain tolerance is crazy. So what, I'm gonna kill him? You know what I'm saying? This joker just took a tooth out the other day and threw the bitch in the trash. I didn't even know.
So, y'all see what I mean? Y'all see what I mean? This boy had a whole infected toe about to fall off and ain't no nothing, child. Lord have mercy. And her son taking out teeth and oh, mercy.
So, no, you have to figure out what works for your child, whatever that looks like, and understanding that all of their learning is different. What I had to do was really zone in on what worked for my child.
Put it back. Put it back. Put it back. Put it back. I'm it. Put it back.
back. Yeah.
Put it back.
You put it back.
Get it? Pick it up. Pick it up. And put it back. Put it back. Put it back. Come here. Put it back.
You see what mama's doing? She's persistent. She is not giving up. I don't care. She said, I don't care if you're going to run off. We're going to do this. You're going to do this today, sir. Patience. Patience is needed.
Hold it. Go put it back. Put it back. Put it back. Put it back. Look, put it back. Put it back. Put it. Thank you. Come on. Thank you. Thank you.
You have to discipline your child with autism. I think we forget little autistic kids grow up to be autistic preteens, teenagers, and young adults. I have twins with autism. My autistic son gets aggressive sometimes. I ain't gonna hold you. Homie gets aggressive. And you might want to scroll on this part. You might want to scroll. I tear his ass up. I whoop his ass. Because one thing you not gonna do is have me living in fear in my goddamn house. Bills too high. Okay. I have been doing therapy with these kids since they was 18 months old. He will be 6 in April. The amount of sacrifices I have made mentally, physically, and in my career to make sure he gets the services he needs. I'll be damned if I walk around my goddamn house scared. Okay. See, the problem is, everybody wants to. Every kid can't be gentle parented.
Okay.
Yeah. Look.
If you don't spank, scroll on.
Okay.
But y'all need to stop stop thinking that all kids can be gentle parented. My daughter with autism, she can absolutely be gentle parented. I can tell, I can raise my voice, shit's gonna get right. This boy, oh, I'm gonna whoop his ass. Stop playing, y'all gotta stop playing with them autistic kids, because ABA therapy is working. But sometimes once or twice a month, I have to remind him that I'm big dog around here. You're not gonna play with me.
Okay. I ain't mad at you, honey.
Autistic parents, can we please normalize correcting your child when they are wrong and not allowing them the excuse of, oh, they're autistic? Please. Because, especially at the younger ages, because they're very smart and they're children and everything is learned behavior. Okay? Not saying that they won't stem or that they won't still have some of the regression or aggression, but there has to be correction there. Okay, I'm gonna give you a quick example. Yesterday,
Y'all heard what she said? There has to be correction there. You cannot pacify. You cannot coddle. You have to do correction. Okay?
son's field trip, one of the kids he tried to hit my son. And I said, oh no, because he wanted to cut the line for the slide. We let him do it once. The second time I was like, oh no, you need to wait. So he goes to try to hit my child. And I said, oh no, you're not going to do that. So then he takes his aim and attention at the aide that was beside me. She hit, so she grabbed his hand. I said, where's your mother? Because she's standing there looking. So she comes and she goes, oh, sorry, he's aggressive. What? Your son just tried to hit another child and an aide, an adult. And your comment is, oh, he's aggressive. Never could my son go and hit another child with me there or attempt to hit another child or an adult and me just say, oh, he's aggressive.
Y'all, ain't no way. And see, a lot of times, look, guys, and this is not just for autism parents or whatever, but this is for all. A lot of times, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. You have parents that would do exactly what this lady said the other parent did. Make an excuse for bad behavior. It's y'all fault.
Absolutely not. First of all, now you're out of the line for the slide. That's number one. You're going to apologize. Number two, I don't give a damn. Even if you don't get an apology at that very moment because the situation is, you're upset, you're going to come back once you calm down and apologize. Because you need to know that's not okay. And we're going to talk about that. Okay, you have to wait in line. You have to wait your turn. And when it's your turn, you get to go. You do not get to hit because you want to go right now. We cannot keep going and letting them live in this false narrative that they can act out because they don't get their way or they get to act out because they're autistic. This is learned behavior. Okay? Like I said, every situation and circumstance is different, but this one, we have to give them standards. We have to hold them accountable. Whatever that looks like. No, you do not need to spank them. It's not what I'm saying. Look at another video. I do not condone or I'm not in favor of that. But if you do A, B is going to happen. Because when they get older, what's going to happen? They're going to think that they can keep doing these things and no consequences. They're going to be 15 and think, oh, well, you done pissed me off. I can hit you. Absolutely not. Someone's going to knock their asses out. And even if no one knocks them out, it's just not okay. Okay, so let's normalize consequences, right from wrong, with our children and not giving them excuses. Because giving them excuses is enabling the behaviors. Like I said, I understand certain situations and you got to handle it certain ways. But the whole, oh, he tried to hit another child and an adult and your thing is sorry, he's aggressive. Now we got a situation.
Ooh-wee. What y'all think about the video, y'all? What are your comments? Again, I dropped the link if you want to come up and express your opinion, comments, statements, or questions. What do y'all think about? I mean, do y'all agree with what was being said? Do y'all understand what was being said? You need some more clarification? Please let me know, baby. Okay, let me know. All right, we about to get back into the lesson. All right, here we go. And shout out to everybody that's watching. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Please share the stream, okay? And make sure y'all go and subscribe to the Autism channel as well, okay? And there is the link. I put the link in the chat, okay? It's at on YouTube's ACCP Safe, okay? All right. Let's get back into the lesson, y'all. Okay, now we done got all this information. We know what is a tantrum, what is a meltdown. We understand what the why behaviors happen when it comes to autistic children, right? Okay. So now that we know, let's go through some steps on how to get it right. All right, behavior intervention. A written plan to address your child's behavior to help change his behavior. You got to think about who's going to be involved: family, friends, teachers, paraprofessionals, and child care. So here's the thing: what you decide to implement, and this is why you need to think about who's involved. Where does your child go the most, right? You have to make sure that they are on the same page as you and let them know this is what we're going to do in order to get this behavior changed. Y'all get that? Because, and I say this a lot of times when I'm talking to parents that have their kids in school or in therapy, you have to do the same things that they're doing in therapy at home. You can't just send them to ABA therapy and occupational therapy and don't model the same things that they're teaching them there. It's not going to work. What they going for? If you are not involved, if you're not putting those things in actions that they're trying to teach you and the child, that's going to help them in the long run. Even when it comes to learning, and shout out to Miss, she said we're going to be doing homeschooling tomorrow. I'll make sure y'all tune in for that, where you're going to have to model things for your kid. So when you're pulling together your plan to get these behaviors going, changing, you have to think about who's involved. So if you have, the husband, the grandparents, whomever is authority in the household or whatever, when they go to families' houses, when they go to friends' houses, when they go to school, whatever they go, you have to make sure when he does this, this needs to happen. When she acts this way, this needs to happen. It has to be consistent. We're going to talk about that. Okay? So I would suggest you choose one behavior to address at a time, especially if your child is like the kids that we saw on the beginning video that have now if you have a child that has like mild behaviors that you can kind of lump everything together and change it or whatever. But if you have ones that are, aggressive with the hitting and things like that, I would suggest that you focus on one behavior, get that going, and then move on to the next, because you don't want to overwhelm them and you don't want to confuse them, right? Choosing one behavior to address at a time. This will keep you and your child from being overwhelmed, prevents confusion, and makes reinforcement easier, because certain behaviors may have a certain consequence, right? And so if you're lumping all of these things together and each behavior have a different consequence, it can be overwhelming. So you want to address one behavior at a time. Okay? Then once you determine that, you need to collect the ABC data. We're going to get into that. So the ABC principles to discipline, and if you know, ABA therapy offers some techniques to adapt behavior from unwanted behavior to preferred behavior that translate into our everyday lives. ABA focuses on the why. Remember, we talked about that. You're not focusing on the behavior, you're focusing on why this kid is doing this behavior. So ABA focuses on the why and the how aspect of behavior to implement intervention. And the why refers to the cause of the behavior. Remember, we talked about that. And the how is refers to the tools that can effectively be used to change the unwanted behavior to preferred behavior. So we're going to talk about how to collect the ABC data, okay? Decide what changes to make, and then we're working on changing the behavior. And then we're going to talk about maintaining the consequences. And here is where parents, ooh, Lord, y'all, ooh, okay. Parents be like, a lot of parents are not consistent. And when you're not consistent, that can cause a problem, okay? Teach your child that every behavior has consequences. Good behavior afford a reward, and unwanted behavior results in some form of punishment, such as taking away any favorite toy or being grounded. Just a few things, right? What happens a lot of times is when you're trying to implement consequences, then you have a salty parent that will let it go. Then you have a salty parent that won't implement the consequences. Or you have a parent that's overwhelmed, that's stressed out, be like, oh, okay, just give it to him. Just give it to him, because I can't take him crying. I can't take him screaming and howling. I'm so over it right now. And see, when you give in, you're teaching them, if I keep doing this, I can get what I want. So you have to follow your plan and stick to your plan you created. Don't make changes in the heat of the moment. Like, that's what I just said. Like, don't deter from the plan. You have to be consistent. We're going to talk about that. Your child will understand better what you expect. Don't give up. It's going to be hard. Yes, yes, yes. And give changes a time to take effect. Okay? And here's one big thing. You want to reward positive behavior. Let's say that again. You want to reward positive behavior. So when they are acting out, melting down, tantrum, and you give them what they want, you are rewarding what? Bad behavior. And this is what we want to change in order to get them on the right track. Okay, y'all ready? Let's go. Let's talk about ABA. So if you don't know, ABA is a type of therapy that a lot of kids with disabilities are involved in. Applied behavior analysis, ABA therapy, is one of the most offered therapy styles there are. Okay, so ABA is a type of therapy rooted in science of behavior and learning, using positive reinforcement and data-driven strategies. ABA teaches life skills, improved communication, social skills, and behavior by encouraging positive actions and reducing problematic ones. Okay. So what happens with ABA, you look at the why, which is the A, the antecedent. What happens before the behavior? For example, refusal to do homework, The parent asks the child to start homework, okay? And the B stands for what took place, the action. Action for that, right? So the action is child saying no, crying, throwing themselves, avoiding the task, running. That's the B. Y'all get that? That is the B. And the C is the consequences. What happens after the behavior? Whether it is good consequences or bad consequences. Are you rewarding the bad behavior? And that's what we're trying to change. Okay, y'all understand that? Y'all got that? So this is the ABC data collection. This is what we need to be collecting. We have to understand what the behavior is and why we're doing it and how we're going to address it. Y'all get that? Talk to me, guys. Y'all still here? All right, let's look at some more strategies and interventions. So use clear and simple instructions. Provide visual support, such as schedules and choice boards. We're going to talk about that. Implement consistent routines. We are going to talk about that in a second. Give transitions warnings. Teach replacement behaviors and functional communication. We're going to talk about that too. Use first, then language, meaning you do this first, do this second, and then this is what you'll get if you do these things. We will talk about that. Offer choices to increase cooperation. Break tasks into smaller and manageable steps. Using prompting and fading techniques. And create structured and predictable environment. We are going to talk about that, okay? So let's talk about positive reinforcements. Rewarding desired behaviors to increase the likelihood they happen again. Immediate reinforce desired behavior. Use meaningful reinforcers like praise. You did a good job. And like what I do with my son, I would like, good job, Mr. Gator, Mr. Gator. Like, you're awesome. I'll tell him he's awesome. I'll tell him that he's so smart, and he loves that, right? B, you have to be intentional, be specific with your praise, reinforce small progress. It can be the smallest thing. They can pick up something, write something down, not throw a tantrum, do what you said you wanted them to do, and give them a praise. Because we're going to get into that is one of their love languages. Just like how you think we as adults have love languages, kids have love language too. You ain't know that? Mm-hmm. Stay consistent. That is so important. You have to stay consistent. Why is it important? Increase positive behavior, build motivation and engagement, strengthen learning and skill development, improves confidence and independence. And that is so true. When you give them that boost when they're doing something right, you're giving them motivation to learn something new or to try something new because they like the way it feels when they get rewarded. I mean, that's simple. That's simple kids, y'all. Simple kids. No different. They just they all the same, baby. They all the same. They are all the same. All right, y'all ready? Okay, here we go. Let's talk about rewarding positive behaviors. And on Wednesday, we're going to talk about nutrition and holistic strategies because this churn is big out here, okay? These babies be 5 years old and they looking like they're 13. What's happening is they're overdoing it with the treats. So we're going to talk about rewarding positive behavior. We use some suggestions, and then we're going to talk about, y'all. Choose different ways to reward your kid and not just reward them with candy and treats. We're going to talk about nutrition in more detail on Wednesday. Okay. We were trying to avoid going overboard with the treats, y'all. Y'all gotta look, chill out with the treats. Okay. Help your child learn and grow without always needing a treat. Why too many treats can be a problem. Child may only listen if they're rewarded with the candies, right? They get the treat. Lessen interest in natural motivation like praise or fun, something fun, access to something, right? It can lead to power struggles. No treat, no work. Yeah, we heard those little threats. So here are some things that you can do instead of offering treats all the time. Giving them praise, high fives, hugs, or a favorite activity. Stop feeding these kids with the candies and the red dye 49 and stuff because they did something right, or you're rewarding them with the treats because you're damaging them even more, right, with the treats. And if you want to use treats, you can use treats for new tasks. But for like the old things, try to do other things to give them rewards or praise. Lay off the candies and stuff, y'all. And we're gonna talk more about the nutrition and holistic stuff on Wednesday. So y'all can take a picture of that. Let's talk about the 5 love languages for kids. So then you can actually figure out what treat or what reward you would do for your kids. Every child is unique, but there are 5 love languages for them, right? They love words of affirmation. I'm proud of you. Good job. They like that kind of stuff. Mr. Caleb like to do the high five. Acts of service, helping with transition, being sensory conscious of them. What will, be sensory overload, be conscious of that. Acts of service, right? Helping them what they needed. Here's the big one. Quality time. Quality time. And this is what happens with a lot of kids today. The parents are absent. Even the one that is in the home is absent because they allow the TV, the pads, the computer to raise their kids. They're not spending any meaningful quality time with your children. And how are you able to how would you know anything about your kid, what they like, what they do, if you don't spend no time with your kid? That is a problem. Not even with the children with autism. That's with all kids. Y'all ain't spending no time with your babies. And I'm doing it. After this, I'm going back to my regularly scheduled teaching sessions around here because y'all been acting up in these YouTube streets. I swear. Okay, especially y'all women, girl. I cannot. But anyway, let's get back to this. We gonna talk about these mamas out here in these streets. Shouts out to Miss She said we canceling Mother's Day because y'all crazy. I've been hearing mamas and some dads don't even want to spend time with their babies, and they crave your attention. And like we said before, what was some of the whys of the behaviors? Attention. The tantrums, the meltdowns, the crazy behavior. I want your attention, mama. They can't say it, so they're going to show you. I want your attention. I want your attention, daddy. And y'all don't want to show attention to your babies. And here's another one. Physical touch. The squeezing, the rocking, the hug. Kids like that. Now, like Mr. K, he like the high fives and stuff now because he grown now, child. However, he done got into something else. I don't know what he's been watching. Now he wants me to put my ears to his chest and listen to him breathe. He be like, breathe in, breathe out. You hear that, mama? Breathe in. So he must have been watching some doctor show. So I'm gonna have to get one of those stethoscopes around here because now he wants me to listen to him breathe in and breathe out. That's his physical touch. Shouts out to Mr. Caleb, Lord Jesus. Receiving gifts. Shouts out to the paper towel fund. Okay. That case of paper towels is Mr. Caleb's gift. So hit the cash app and support the paper towel fund. Okay. Can we get at least $20 in the cash app for the paper towel fund? I can get the paper towels on the 30th. The case is almost gone. And receiving gifts. A new fidget toy, a little favorite snack, something that interests them, you know what I mean? They like these things, just like adults. But the number 3 and the number 4 is where parents are lacking. They're lacking in these areas. All right, y'all. Here is my favorite part. The power of routine and structure. I pound this into my parents all the time. When they come to me and they need, look, how the routine is structured is going to be your life saver parents. And I'm not just talking about autistic parents, I'm talking about parents all across the board. Routine and structure is going to be your saving grace. Routine and structure is going to be your saving grace. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. Consistency matters at home. Consistency at home matters. Routine and rules help kids feel secure and safe. Consistency at home matters. Routines and rules help kids feel secure. So let's talk about something that happens with autistic children. The meltdown when transition happens. Why transitions are so hard? It's not defiance, it's the nervous system overload because they thrive on routine. Autistic children thrive on routine. And when you're at level 3, you are more inclined not to handle changes or disruptions to your routine. Now, level 2, level 1, they're pretty much, because, Mr. Cato doesn't fall out. He didn't do the falling out and stuff like that or getting mad when it was a change of routine. So he was able to adapt to it. But if you go further into the levels, you have a lot of kids that can't handle changes because predictability means safety to them. Let me say that again. Why they're having a problem transitioning from one thing to the next when it's not in their routine. Predictability means safety to them. The brain needs time to shift gears. You're changing their situation, baby. They like, wait a minute, what's this? Sudden change threatens to the nervous system. And what happens when their nervous system is overloaded? And then you got the meltdown, okay? All right, let's get into the routines. All right, the power of routines, baby. Yes, that's one of my favorite things. How consistency and soothing rituals provide security. Routines and consistency give kids comfort in the world that can seem random. It gives them respite from trying to comprehend the what they experience. Familiarity is soothing and self-reinforcing. Routine gives them a sense of accomplishments, mastery, safety from anxiety, security, and control over the situation. Can I say that again? That gives them control over the situation. They feel secure about it, they feel safe about it, and they feel a feeling of accomplishment. I did a show in the autism playlist on visual support. Go check it out. We're going to talk about that in a second. So let's check out some ways that we can help with the visual, with the routine and structure. All right, guys. This is what routine looks like. All right, the importance of routine for children, not just kids with autism, but for children altogether. Routines can help children feel safe, secure, and in control. When children know what to expect, they can focus on learning, growing, and having fun. Why routines matter? It helps with better sleep, healthy habits, less stress, more confidence, and a better focus. Positive routines build bright futures. When you have a morning routine, learning time, playtime, family time, and a bedtime routine even helps you as a parent. Now, I know a lot of parents have a problem with kids not going to sleep, okay? Because, like Mr. Caleb, he likes to stay up, and party, okay? But, he say, I'm grown, mommy, I can do that, okay? So, predictable routines, a nervous system often settles when it knows what is the outcome. And what happens is when you don't have a routine throughout the day, the routine at night ain't working. So here is some suggestions for a simple, predictable bedtime routine. You have a wind down time. Lower the sensory load. That means dimming the lights, reducing the noise. And if they're still have a lot of energy, get them to do something, right? To kind of work off some of that energy. And that's a good thing. That's why it's always good to have playtime outside of the house, take them outside, walk around. Mr. K likes to water the garden. He likes to do that and then run in the house because he don't like the light. Okay, he's a vampire. Family time, he likes to play the fish game. And then baths or showers, okay, that always, and that works with, even us, once you get that shower, that bath baby for good, My son is too long, he can't fit in the tub, so he has to take showers, okay. Yeah, he's that tall, he's that big. Okay. Them legs is not fitting in that tub. We tried it one time, baby, it was not working. It was like, what, mama? We got to get a whirlpool with the tub. So taking a shower, washing up, make sure your face washing, all that good stuff, it's relaxing. And then have a calm and way to connect with them. So, your little ones, you read them a book or something like that and help them sleep. Turn on some meditation music, right? Turn off all stimuli to their eyes and their ears will help them calm down. So let me tell you what Mr. Caleb does. And this is how I know when he's getting sleepy and he's ready to go to bed. So he has this projector, because he likes the stars and the moons and stuff like that. So he has a projector, and when he's ready to go to sleep, he turns on the projector and it will display the stars and the moon on the ceiling. So all the lights are out, of course, because he don't like the sun. But he'll turn the projector on, and this is the other thing he does. Now, when he was younger, he used to turn on jazz music. He would turn the jazz music on, and that's how I know, like, okay, yeah, he's ready, but he's about to crash. So now what he does, so now he has the stars and the moon on the ceiling. And what he does is, so he has like a big screen in his room, or that's connected to his computer. He will go to a YouTube video that's playing like really soft white noise music, or some type of jazz music, but it's showing the constellations and stars. So he got stars and the moon up in the ceiling, and then he has on the screen the stars with a little bit of music playing in the background. And it plays for 24 hours. So it's this playing until he wakes up in the morning. And that has been his routine for like the past 2 years. So this has become a predictable routine for him. So even when I want to say you need to go to sleep, if I go into the room, I'm like, okay, yeah, you need to go to bed. I go into the room, I'll turn that projector thing on, and he automatically goes to the computer and put the thing on the screen and go lay down. Now he will muzzle around for a little bit, but after a while he's knocked out. Routine, guys. Routine. I can't see it. The power of the routine is soothing to them. It helps them de-escalate. It helps them regulate their system because they know what's coming. There are no surprises. I know I need to do this and this and this, and that's going to make mommy happy, and then I'm going to get a reward, and I feel accomplished, and yes, I did it by myself. Okay? Rosa says, I love nap time back in the day. All right. Routine and structure in autism support. So and don't forget, there is a list of all of the lessons I have given over the past years in autism. And one of the lessons is visual support. So using visual support will help you with the routine and the structure, because a lot of times it's hard for them to understand with the words, but if you're showing them in picture, if you're showing them in video, this will help them accomplish the task, or self-regulate themselves, or ask what they need, or tell you what they need. So using visual aids will help. You can use the first and then board. So you telling them, first you need to do this, then you need to do that, and so on and so on. So visual aids are very important. So once you set the routine, and then you can use timers. So like when Mr. Caleb is doing his, so I have him doing, some educational stuff. And I first I ask him what time he wants to do it. He tell me what time he wants to do it. And then I say, okay, you got 15 minutes. We set the time for 15 minutes. He has to do 15 minutes of work. He knows this is going to happen. So there's no meltdown and all this kind of stuff. He automatically turns off the computer and he's ready to do what he's supposed to do, because he sees it. This is my schedule for today. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is the routine. And what happens when you constantly do something over and over again? It becomes a what? It becomes a habit. All right, guys, I have some tips and encouragement for the parents and the caregivers. And again, this is not just for autistic parents. It's for all y'all, because everything that I talked about today, normal parents can use it too. You need to, because the kids is out of control. And it starts out. Discipline and structure starts at home. Okay? So here's a little bit I have to say, and then I have some other things I'm going to show, and this is some tips on certain situations in order for you to achieve good outcomes with your behavior plan. So, one, take your time, parents. Get support, and remember, this is a process. It is not going to happen overnight. Everybody has not been blessed like I, and I understand that. That's why I'm telling you, take your time, get the support you need. Somebody's going to hold you accountable and tell you to stay on task, because once you go off task, then you're going to mess up the whole plan. You're looking for progress and not perfection. Remember, they're still kids. Let me say that again. You're looking for progress and not perfection. The purpose of discipline is to develop socially acceptable behaviors in your autistic child or your child in general. Find strategies that the child will understand. You have to learn your kid. It is important to work from your child's perspective. You have to be a present parent. You have to be a hands-on parent in order to achieve that. This means that he or she can only understand simple instructions. Discipline must be straightforward and understandable for that child. Learn how to teach your kid. Learn what works with them. While discipline can be uncomfortable for us parents, we hate to see them cry. We hate to see them be all out, While discipline can be uncomfortable term to get used to, it is critical when raising a child, period. Not just a child with autism, raising a child, period. When a child learns discipline, he or she understands the rules in terms of social behaviors becomes much simpler to apply. And here's a main one. Start filling your child's attention bank. Stop ignoring your babies. Stop pushing them in a room and lock them away because you bothered. Start filling your child's attention bank with predictable, regular one-on-one times together. Touch, eye contact, talking. You know how when kids are nonverbal, you know how they learn how to talk? Chat. If somebody's nonverbal, right? Do you know how they learn how to talk? Do you know how they learn how to talk? What do you think they do in speech therapy? They talk to them. They talk to them. Talk to your child. Hold a conversation with them. They may be looking at you trying to process what you're saying, but hold a conversation with them. Now watch what you say now, because you'll be surprised that they will come out and repeat what you just said. Because let me tell y'all something. Okay, story time. I'm telling all my business today, y'all. Story time, okay? When Mr. Caleb was like 7, and I used to say this phrase all the time, like when I'm talking with my girlfriends or something at work, I'd be like, what the hell? What the hell? And one day, I forgot where we were. Mr. Caleb just put, what the hell? Why? Because he heard Baba, what the hell, all the time. Oh, what could I do? Like, he got it from me. He was what the helling? All in school. What the hell? Mr. Caleb was what the hell and all the time, because guess what? Because mommy was saying what the hell all the time. So spend some time with your babies. Schedule regular parent-child time, right? Focus on spending a day or regular one-on-ones with your child. Do something you both enjoy. Avoid interruptions. Put the phones down, okay? No technology, no screens. Look into your child's eyes and be a parent. Again, remember progress, not perfection. And understand there are going to be ups and downs. Learn how not to lose it and how to handle it when you or your kid do. Listen to your child's needs, adapt any discipline strategies accordingly. Remember that your child can think and feel just the same as any other child can. Stop thinking they so special and different, baby. They just a kid. They still human. I mean, some of them superhuman strengths and stuff. Shout out to Superman Caleb. Remember that your child can think and feel just the same way as any other child. The way in which he or she may express this may be different than the norm, but they're capable regardless. You can do it. I did a presentation years ago and it was called "If Your Child Can Do It, My Kid Can Too." If your child can do it, and that was my motto from day one. If your kid can do it, Caleb gonna do it and do it better. They said Caleb couldn't read. Guess what? Caleb know how to read. They said Caleb wouldn't go to school. Guess what? Mr. Caleb graduated from high school. Mr. Caleb plays the piano by ear. Mr. Caleb cleans his room, washes dishes, washes clothes, on his clothes, washes butt, everything. Your kid can do, my kid can do it too. Pump the gas, water the flowers, mop the floor, all that. Mr. Caleb can do it. If your kid can do it, my kid can do it too. That has been my model from day one. And that's how I treated him. Change your mindset, parents, during the behavior. This is especially challenging when you're in the moment and possibly dealing with your own stress. I understand it can be stressful, and it can, like, when you hear your kid cry, whatever, you just want to give up. Like, oh my God, I can't take it. But remember, this is not about you. This is about your child. Okay? However, for the best interest of your child, muster up some patience. Patience is important to understand your child's needs, guys. That is important. That is important. So, guys, if anyone has any statements, any you want to comment on anything that you learned, you have a question, now is the time to pop up because I am about to play some more little tips and things so that everyone can and then we're going to be done. Okay. So I'm going to drop the link one more time. And you don't have to be on camera. Where's the linky? So if you have any questions or comments or anything, you can come up. Let me drop it in the chat. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you want to chime in on something that you saw, something that you heard, now is the time. All right, guys. Oh my Lord. I didn't know I was on mute. Okay, tomorrow night, y'all. Shouts out to Mrs. She said she is going to be in the building. We're going to be talking about homeschooling tomorrow. So autism homeschooling hacks and learning styles we're going to be talking about, okay, our routines and behaviors. If you are interested in homeschooling your child, whether they be on a spectrum or not, Mrs. She said will be in the building to answer your questions about homeschooling your regular kid. And I will be here to address homeschooling for the autistic kids. So make sure you guys tune in. We're going to talk about the differences of being public school and homeschool. What are the good things about it and what's the bad things about it, and give you some tips and tricks to get through the school year. Okay. So maybe so we're gonna be doing that tomorrow. Shouts out to Miss She said. Miss She said will be in the building. Okay. Um, so yeah, we did that today. So that's what we're gonna be doing tomorrow. Look, y'all ain't telling me I was on mute. That's a daggone shame. You see how y'all do me? See how y'all do me? I cannot. Y'all need to tell me I was on mute. Shame. Shame on all y'all. Also, I never leave my parents not equipped. Okay. I do provide for all of my lessons. I provide a guide, a workbook, a booklet for each course that I present. I'm not lazy with mine. I just don't Google and ChatGPT and get all the information and get up here and talk and get some videos. I actually do some work. So if you go, where is my little thingy thingy? If you go to the website, www.accpstate.com/resources, or you can email me there or email me on redlipstickvibespodcast@gmail. I will send you the information, or you can download it from the website. You say, Miss Girl, what you talking about, Petty Red? Well, let me show you. This course provides a parental guide and workbook just for you, okay? Here we go. So this is what it looks like. Let me make it. This is what's in it. This is for the parent. Let me make it big for y'all. So if you go to the website and go to resources, it's there so you can download, and this is what it looks like. This is a handout. This is your autism and behavioral support book, how to use it, target behavior planner, ABC behavior tracker, your daily check-ins, your routine and visual support planner, your discipline consistency checklist, rewards and reinforcement planner, meltdown and incident receipts, parent reflection, and helpful resources handout, all in the booklet. Okay? I never leave y'all empty-handed because I do this for real. I don't just be talking about it. Okay? So that is on the website, or you can send me if we're friends on Facebook or Instagram, just send me a message, say send it to me, and I will send it to you. But if not, just go to the website and you can download it yourself. Okay. So that is that. So I thank you guys for tuning in. Let me get through the super chats. Y'all stay with me real quick to do the super chats and all that good stuff. And if y'all have any questions or concern or anything, let me know. Let me shout out to Miss She said. Miss She said we are going to be doing homeschooling tomorrow. Okay, that's tomorrow. We're doing homeschooling tomorrow. Let me take this down. We're talking about homeschooling tomorrow. Miss She said will be coming from homeschooling perspective from for quote unquote normal kids. I hate saying that, but then I will be talking about homeschooling from the autism perspective. Okay, so if you want to know anything about homeschooling, what's the benefits, on how to get started, all that kind of stuff, please tune in tomorrow. There will be no red perspective. That's what we're going to be doing for the rest of the week because it is still Autism Awareness Week. Okay. All right, let's get through the super chats. And thank you guys. I truly, truly appreciate everybody that showed us smell the roses for interacting in the chat. Miss She said, enter in the chat. Homie AL is in the chat. Fruit Others when Tony, I saw y'all in the chat. And so thank y'all so much for tuning in. My heart is really grateful that, because usually a lot of people don't tune in for when I do the autism stuff. So, but I'm really grateful that y'all showed up. So yeah. Let's do the super chats. Okay. I gotta get my little soundboard together. Shouts out to Miss She Said for sending me a $2 cash. Oh, super chat. I'm gonna call it cash app. And a shouts out to Smell of Roses for the $19.99 $20 cash app. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And shouts out to Hoot came by with the $2. Said blessing, sister. And then we had Mr. He Said came through and gifted 1 membership. Thank you, brother. And then CB Beats came in through and he gifted 1 membership. Thank you, Beats. And then Beats came in through another gifted membership. Thank you, Beats, for the support. And then my problem child number 4, Trin, came in the house with a $10. Said, you get it done. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in and supporting the channel. And I just got a little simple thank you.
These beautiful.
Thank you for the super chats. Now I can buy these red bottoms.
Oh, thanks for the cash apps. Now I can buy all these paper towels.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. So guys, thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. I will be, so Monday, tomorrow we have homeschooling. Tuesday, we are doing potty training, toilet training. Okay. We talking about that. Okay. Because that is a problem that a lot of parents with kids with disability have issues with potty training, toilet training. And on Wednesday, let me tell y'all something. Wednesday night, y'all need to be here because it's really not about, it's about autistic kids, but we're going to talk about nutrition. And sis, Miss C said, Rose Smith, if y'all want to come up, sister, you want to come up because I know you do the kitchen medicine cabinet. We're going to talk about nutrition, and we're going to talk about mental health, right? Holistic remedies on Wednesday night. It's going to get deep. So y'all need to be here because a lot of things I'm going to be talking about, you need to implement in your own life. I'm just saying. And when I was doing my research, I don't found out some stuff like that. Child, I found out some stuff like that. I'm like, oh really? Okay. I done found out some stuff for B, right? So you need to be here. Okay, because we all need to be healthy for ourselves, for our family, and for our children. So that is Wednesday night, and Thursday night, I have an exclusive interview with Javon. She had an interview last year with the father of her kids, and she has multiple kids with autism. So we're going to talk because they grown. Okay, we got grown kids. Okay. We got grown kids. She has a 1 autistic daughter that's in college. So if y'all have questions about what happens next and what they can look, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So I'm going to catch up with her, talk to her, what's going on in the kid's life, how it's transitioning from childhood to adulthood in the autistic community. It's about to go down. Okay. We about to do the thing. Okay. So it's going to be good. And again, I don't want y'all to miss it. If you want a booklet, okay, this is not just for autism. This is for autism. And you need ways in order to target and put in discipline and structure and routine in your child's life. You can download the workbook. It is on the website at www.accpsafe.com. Or if you know me on the social media, you can send me a message. If you know my email, I can send me an email and say, I want the workbook. and I can send it to you, okay? That is available. Each one of my courses have one, and I think all of them are on the website. I think I need to add 2 more from last year to the website, but everybody else is on the website. So yeah. So so thank you guys for tuning in. I was gonna do a redirect to Fatty, but I don't think he has started yet. Let me check. Let me do the redirect to Cam. Cammy is last, so let me redirect to them, and then we'll redirect to and then she went and put that on. So again, if you think of any questions, if you have any questions, or when we're offline, just shoot me a message and I will be happy to, address it if you need any help with anything. Anything outside of what we talked about, any questions about autism, any questions about any type of related disorder and anything, guess what? I am here for you. Okay. I'm here for you. If I don't have the answer, I definitely get the answer because my hands reach in a lot of places. Okay. Let me see, can I find Ken? Child, what is your name, baby? I can't even find her on here, child. Oh, Cammy. Stop changing your name, girl. Ooh, Lord. She keep changing the name, but I can't find her. What she changed her name to? Lord have mercy, this girl. I cannot. Oh, she must don't have the redirect on. Ooh wee. Okay. Cammy must don't. Okay, she don't have the redirect on. Cause I can't. I can't even find her. Okay. Well, anyway, all right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's the end of the show. And again, if you want the workbook, just let me know, or just go to the website and download it. And I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you guys for the support and all the cash apps and all that kind of stuff. And yeah. Bye, y'all. Thank you.